So we started discussing about what is DHCP, and our next topic is security and attacks in DHCP. So here now we are going to talk about DHCP snooping. So DHCP snooping is a layer 2 switch feature which mitigates the security risk by having denial of services from the attacker servers, and it is actually allow the legitimate DHCP server to communicate in that environment, and the attackers will not be able to access the network and will not be able to broadcast their DHCP DHCP solutions to the network, and it cannot take advantage of nature of DHCP, and they cannot actually lead to a man in the middle attack. So attackers, how they work actually. Basically, how attackers attack, and when any DHCP works means let's understand how DHCP works. So DHCP works in a very simple way that any client when it broadcasts, for example, I'm just going to this Cisco packet tracer and again changing that environment, and now for example I am coming from static to DHCP. Now it is requesting IP address. So when it is requesting IP address, you can see that it is the client is 0000, and it is sending a broadcast to 55 to 55 to 55 to 55. So basically, DHCP how it works, it is actually broadcast their request. So when this DHCP offer is coming as a as an acknowledgement, sorry, before acknowledgement, as a reply. So DHCP query is giving a reply. Again, coming back to simulation mode, let me show you. Again, going back to simulation mode, let me show you how it works. Now, I'm clicking on DHCP. So this request, where it will come to the server. So it will come to attack server and DHCP server both. Now, both will try to respond. Both now will try to respond. So it is allocating 104 as a IP address, and this is allocating 100, and both are allocating 104 as a IP address. So that is the problem. Now eventually when both comes, both packet comes, this is registered. Now this is before giving acknowledgement. Before giving the acknowledgement, so this is getting an address of 104. So basically this 104 need to be acknowledged to the server. Before that, when it is sending acknowledgement to the server, before that this DHCP offer message is coming that I'm going to offer you the 104. So DHCP discovery is there, DHCP offering is there. So the client accept the lease offer, that DHCP request is there and DHCP acknowledgement is there. So basically these are the different types of message: DHCP discovery, DHCP offering, DHCP request, and DHCP acknowledgement. Now you can see both are picking up the request and both are actually replying back to that request. So that is the main problem. Now DHCP snooping is that the one, if this both the server are responding, so only this switch will allow this original server response to go to this PCs, and this need to be attacked. Sorry, this attacker DHCP server need to be blocked. So this is basically how DHCP snooping works. So basically, we need to discuss where is the danger, how do we mitigate, how it works. So basically, DHCP server in a network, okay, there is a different default route. So malicious server could intercept all traffic, and it can provide a wrong server to the network. So that is and how do we mitigate? We can actually simple. We can create an access list, and we can also create a DHCP snooping. So we are going to give us first Second solution is the DHCP snooping. So once DHCP snooping is working, then binding is done between server and switch. So this switch at the layer 2, when it is bind with the DHCP proper DHCP server, all other attackers, if they are configured with this DHCP also, will not be able to give their lease to the destination MAC. So source this will actually inspect. So this is, for example, untrusted DHCP server, and this is trusted DHCP server. So this port need to be created as a trusted port. Okay. So this is DHCP snooping is one of the Cisco Catalyst feature which comes with the layer 2 and layer 3 switch. So port will be identified and become trusted and untrusted. So how do we do it? So we need to first enable on this DHCP snooping. So we need to go and what we need to do, we need to go to this Cisco packet tracer, and this is what we need to do. We need to go to that, we need to write enable config t, and we need to write IP, and this is the command IP DHCP snooping. So now DHCP snooping is enabled. Next command is snooping information. So now let's go to the later part. So information option, and then we need to go to that port, the trusted port. Now that make it trust. Now we need to check this is fast Ethernet. So we need to check. So we need to go and check this is fast Ethernet 01. So we need to make this fast Ethernet 01 as a trusted port. Now you can see that we need to go and so only VLAN 1 is there, so we need to write interface fast Ethernet 01. Then we need to write that IP DHCP snooping trust. So next command is IP DHCP snooping trust. So this port will become trusted port, and now we can do one thing. We can also make IP DHCP snooping limit rate, and we can mention that limit rate. So basically, coming back to that, we can always going for a this is understanding DHCP option 82. We have to first find out that why we need to do. In early days of networking, there was you go to RFC 3046, so there is no such option. So when Cisco started came with this, so there are provision now. Now why there is a requirement of limit rate? So when DHCP Snoop detects any violation, this packet is dropped, an event is generated, and that is stored as a log message in the server or in that log server, so which is called DHCP snooping log message. Now violation could occur from MAC address mismatching and attempt to provide DHCP service on untrusted port. Now DHCP snooping is enabled on switches that contain that is basically access port. So basically we need to create that all port as a access port. So I'll come to that later. Now this iOS command is enabled at port level and protect DHCP server from excessive amount of addressing requests. Enable this command. So basically we can give any number from 1 to this, and for example we give a number something like 100 limited, or 500, so we can do so, or 1024 1024, something like that, we can do it. Now before that, what you have to do, interface range fast ethernet 01 to 01 to 24, switch port mode, we have to give it access. So this is very much required, and these are the commands we can do. Now we have to check DHCP. So what we have to do, we have to end this and we have to check that show IP DHCP snooping. So basically, it will show which are the ports. This is the fast ethernet 0 port, which is a trusted port. So basically fast ethernet 04 is now connected to DHCP server. So attacker, now this attack DHCP server will be blocked. Now this server cannot further communicate to any of the client. So this is basically DHCP snooping. So DHCP snooping is a security feature that is act as a firewall between untrusted host and trusted server. And trusted server is actually having the privilege to give this or lease these IP addresses to DHCP client. Now validate DHCP message receiving from untrusted source. Rate limit DHCP traffic from trusted and untrusted source. Build and maintain the DHCP snooping database. And security feature like dynamic ARP inspection is there. So we have already discussed which one is trusted and untrusted. So basically, this is at switch level, we need to check that which is trusted and which is untrusted. At this juncture, we will not discuss about other security features and other features like port security and VLAN. So we can take this as a default VLAN. So basically, IP DHCP Snoop VLAN 1, we can still do it because VLAN 1 is the one. So config t. So we can also type this command to specially VLAN based, we can do Snoop. VLAN 1. So IP DHCP snooping VLAN 1. That means this will work for VLAN 1 only. Now let's not get into this in details. So these are the commands by which we can actually check the IP DHCP relay information, policy, and other things. When we come to advance of DHCP, we can discuss on this. So otherwise, we just check that whether this DHCP snooping option is there or not. Then we will check DHCP snooping working or not, which we have seen. Now option 82 is checking the untrusted one, we are now not configuring. So coming back to slides, that this limit rate and all those things we have already done. So basically, this is how we need to configure a DHCP by creating a trusted port and by creating untrusted port. So basically, you can see that which features show IP DHCP snooping, where you can create trusted and untrusted port. So here in this case, in our case also, we have checked that show IP DHCP snooping option we are checking. So snooping option is showing. So let's go through it. That there is no smart log option. DHCP snooping is configured on this layer 3, and this is the remote ID, the MAC address we always pick up. So MAC address of the server. Option 82 and untrusted port is not allowed. Verification is enabled. So this is the trusted port and this is the rate. So basically rate 5 unlimited, we have made it to 1048. So dynamic PRP inspection we'll discuss later on. So these options, we will discuss little later. So let me close this PPT first, and we will go to that experiment, where in experiment we can check. Now what happened? This I am disabling. Now let me take one more PC here. So here we can take one more PC. So this is the PC, and for example this is now connected, and this is connected. Now this port is amber light is on, so this port is not working. So go to DHCP mode and giving request. Okay, so this DHCP request becomes successful, and now attack DHCP is an 11 port, and you can check it thoroughly that why it is doing so. Now let's go and check it. Show IP, show run I'll do. So IP DHCP snooping option is there. So first Ethernet 01 is a trust port, and rest all are not trusted port. So what let's do, config t interface fast Ethernet 002 to 24, interface range fast Ethernet, switch port access and VLAN 1. So let's make it as a member of VLAN. Then IP DHCP snooping limit snooping trust. Now this, if you write no IP DHCP snooping trust, then end interface fast Ethernet 01 int config t int fast Ethernet 01 switch port mode access switch port access VLAN 1 IP DHCP trust IP DHCP snooping trust and exit IP DHCP snooping information option. Verify MAC address. Now for example end it Now let's have this port as a request, and it's getting the request because of the old request. Now we can do one thing. We can connect a laptop in a network, and we can connect it so that this attack fast ethernet 01. I hope we have configured in fast ethernet 01 only. And now show run, show IP DHCP snooping. Now you can see that whenever there is a request now, so it is only processing from the server, DHCP server. We can go to simulation mode, and we can go to any PC and change it to DHCP mode. Now if we capture and forward, we can see this is going to everyone. Now both attacker server and both are replying back, but it is only coming from this particular DHCP server. So that is all about DHCP snooping. So this is how you can actually track. Go to the router and configure all those things. So basically, if this is connected to the router, so router switch both you can configure accordingly. So basically, this is all about the snooping feature. So when you are the how the switch drops, let's understand a DHCP packet. So the switch drop DHCP packet. One of the situation, if a packet from DHCP server such as DHCP offer, DHCP acknowledgement, DHCP negative acknowledgement, DHCP release query packet received outside the network firewall, outside the trusted port, then it will drop that DHCP packet. So this is basically how it works. So this is how it basically works. So this is how actually it is limiting. So let's not get into details of it. So now let's go back and check it. Show IP DHCP snooping track. So these commands does not work. This is what trusted and untrusted port all about. So DHCP binding. So total number of binding is still 0. So let's check the DHCP database also. So the configuration is done accordingly. So by actually checking all those things, we can say that these are the commands which is there in real life device, and we can always say that whether this DHCP is working or not. So basically what will happen, so let me discuss. This is the switch, this is the switch. So this is called trusted port, and these all are untrusted port. So whenever switch is getting any kind of reply from this port with a lease, it will allow to forward to other ports. Now for example, this is the attacker. So attacker is replying with some IP address. So when it comes to this particular port, since DHCP snooping is there, only this trusted port information it will forward, store and whatever, store and forward, or whatever forwarding. So this information will be forwarded, but this information will be discarded at this stage. So this is what DHCP snooping doing. Thank you.